Welcome everyone to the Solidarity Lowell General Meeting for March. Thank you all for being here. Oh, apparently I can't use the arrows to.
You can use the on your keyboard, the arrows on your keyboard.
I was trying to.
Oh.
Okay, well, I guess right and left don't work.
Oh.
All right, so here's our agenda for the evening. We'll just talk about Solidarity Lowell and we'll do introductions. Then at 5:45, our Solidarity Lowell subcommittees and allied organizations can make announcements, and then we'll do candidate announcements, just real quick, 2 minutes each. Then at 6:25, we will talk about the Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee. And at 6:55, we'll wrap up and talk about our next meeting. Quick guidelines, please raise your hand or type an asterisk into the chat if you'd like to speak. The stacker for this meeting is Caroline, and she will pay attention to the order that everyone has announced that they want to speak and ask you to unmute in turn. Oh, we should remind you now, please mute yourselves and unmute when you're called upon. The timekeeper is Lisa Arnold. And yeah, please be mindful of time limits. Use stop video if you need to take a break from sharing your camera, and then start video when you're ready to return. Step up and step back. This just means if you've been talking a lot, please step back and let others speak. If you have not been talking a lot, please step up and contribute. We want to hear from everybody here. And this meeting is being recorded. Okay, so our introductions. So please introduce yourself, give your name, your pronouns, where you live. And our icebreaker question is, do you have any pets and what are their names? And if you don't have a pet, please feel free to make one up. Okay, so I'm just going to call on folks so there's no question about, who is gone and who hasn't gone. So we'll start with Chris.
All right. So Chris Afferman, using she, her, hers pronouns, live in downtown Lowell. I currently don't have any pets, but I don't really have to make any up because for most of my life I've had cats of various kinds. And the very first one we had in this country was an orange tabby that was part Manx and therefore had a tiny little stubby tail. And we named him Pete because I remembered a children's book about a cat with no tail that was named Pete.
Nice.
And yeah,
all right,
that was my favorite pet.
Good. Ron, you are next.
My name is Ron Peacetree. My pronouns are he, his, and him. I'm not sure where I live at the moment. And I don't have any pets, but the best pet I ever had was a dog that saved my younger brother's life named Frodo.
Paul, you are next.
Paul Gaudette from the Highlands section of Lowell. My pronouns are he, him. We don't have any pets, but we used to have a dog that we nicknamed Psycho Dog. He was a mix with a strange temper and ended up inflicting a compound fracture on one of our family members. But we all love the dog, and it's gone to its maker now. It was a fun pet.
Amy, you're next.
Hi, Amy Baranowski, on the edge of the acre, soon to be redistricted into downtown over by the stadium. She, her, hers, have two cats, Moxie and Pigpen, and he's sound asleep, or I would wake him up and drag him over here. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Joe, you are next.
Hi, I am Joe Boyle. I live in the Highlands. He, him, his, and I have three cats. Names Lola, Sugar, and Pickles.
Love it. Dee, you're next.
Hi, Dee Halzak, she, her. I live in the acre section of Lowell. I don't have any pets. but my sister had a dog named Tuffy that when I visited her, she always remembered me because all I had to do was say bone and she would go get the bone, even though it had been months since we had seen each other. That's it.
Caroline, you're next.
Hi, Caroline, pronouns she, her, hers. I live in Centerville. I have 2 full-time kitties named Zuko and Camo and 2 part-time pets, a cat named Mono who lives in the neighborhood, and a very fluffy, large golden doodle named Anakin.
Nice. Okay, I can't see names for some reason, and you are next. I asked you to unmute. I'm not sure why names are not showing up.
Oh, I think I was just
Yes,
asked
Kale,
to
sorry.
unmute. Okay, yeah. So hi, I'm Kale Connerty, she, her. I live in the acre section of Lowell. No current pets, but my dog growing up was a Saint Bernard that we named June, and we would call her June Bug or just Bug sometimes. So sometimes we call our huge dog Bug.
Hi, my name is Kirsten. I recently moved to Lowell. I live in Centerville. I have 2 cats. They are siblings. One of them is a Siamese, curiously, and the other one is all black. The Siamese, his name is Loki. It's extremely apt. His sister, Skady, is very timid. And yeah, they're just a little over a year old. They bring a lot of joy to our lives.
Pretty timid too.
Hey, I'm Elizabeth, she, her. I am currently a college student at UMass Lowell, so I'm living in the dorms right now. So I don't have any pets with me, but when I'm at home, my family has 1 black cat and she's named Nova and she is very cute.
John, you're next.
Hi, John Grossman. He, him. I live in Pawtucketville and Lowell. We have 2 dogs, Layla and Peanut.
Lisa, you're next.
Lisa Arnold. I live in downtown Lowell. My pronouns are she, her, and all of my pets are the lovely birds that fly around in the trees outside in nature.
Nice. Ben, you are next.
Hi, my name is Ben Upera. I live in the Pawtucketville neighborhood with John. My pronouns are he, his, him. I have no pets, but I have some squirrels in my backyard. My deck every morning that wake me up. Sometimes they run into my attic and I come out and feed them. That's how my morning starts. And I thank Joe Boyle for reaching out to me. I know Lisa and a bunch of other people had reached. I think Dee also had reached out to me some time ago about attending the meeting, but my schedule sometimes is just rough. And even as I speak to you now, you could be hearing me. I have another meeting going on, and this is going on my phone. So I plug in, I listen to them. They just start yelling at each other. I hang up and I come back over here. So thank you, Joe, for inviting me, and Dee and Lisa for reaching out to me previously. I intend to be part of what you're doing. I love you guys.
I happen to have Ben on my list of contacts for reminder text this week, so I took the opportunity to mention how impressed we all were by his reaction and with the quote in the paper, especially this year with democracy and the rule of law being so disrespected. That really hit the right note.
Agreed.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, Rick, you're next.
Rick Golden. I am he and him. I live up on Christian Hill in Centerville. And we also have some, we don't have pets, but we have wild friends. There's a couple of bunnies that we're starting to figure out every year. They're the same 2 bunnies, and they're a couple. We think they are. So they are Marvin and Tammy. And we have a groundhog who is we're always very excited when we see the groundhog, and her name is Tiffany.
That's awesome. Steve, you are next.
Steve, I live in downtown Lowell. I'm one of those he, him kind of people. Yeah, so there is a cat named Ginger who lives here with me, and she lets me feed her and provide a place for her to sleep. So yeah.
Corey, you are next.
My name's Corey Robinson. I live in Centerville. My pronouns are he, him. I have one pet who's a black female cat named Lennox.
Tara, you're next.
Hi everyone, my name is Tara. I'm going with he, him. I live in District 6, the Highland, and I don't have any pet right now, but I plan to get a dog after I finish college. So yeah.
Nice. April, you are next.
Hey everybody, my name is April Danielson. My pronouns are she, her. I live in Chelmsford, Mass. I don't have any pets currently, but my favorite pet growing up who passed on, his name was Brownie. He was this giant German Shepherd who thought he was a little poodle. I don't know. Thought he was a lap dog, but he was my favorite boy. And yeah, that's about it. And thank you, Lisa, for inviting me to your meeting. Thank you so much for reaching out. I'm running for a select board in Chelmsford, so I've been talking with Lisa, and she's been helping me out, so that's great. And I'm happy to be here.
Susie, you are last but not least.
Hi everyone, happy Sunday. My pronouns are she, her. I live in South Lowell. I have two pet dogs rescued. One of them is Sasha and Maya. So they've been a blessing, pain in my butt, but I love them. They're always good to me. Thank you.
All right, and I think I forgot to introduce myself. If you don't know me, I am Marissa DuPont. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I live in Pawtuckettville, and I currently have one pet, Nikita, who may or may not make an appearance, but we'll see. All right, so moving on.
We introduce, did Ryan get introduced?
Oh, did he show up? Ryan, do you want to introduce yourself?
I just saw Amy and then.
All right, why not? My name is Ryan. My pronouns are he, him. I live in the Acre, although I believe we're being rezoned soon to be downtown, I think. And we have two cats, and one of them right here, who is sleeping, but he can suffer this indignity for just a few seconds. This is our larger and younger of our two cats. This is Pigpen. He is a Maine Coon. He's a very scruffy boy.
Fabulous. We appreciate the show and tell. All right, so if you're not familiar, Solidarity Lowell is a volunteer-based group of community members of Greater Lowell working towards social justice by defending the human rights, dignity, and equality of all persons against all forms of hate and discrimination. With all in-person events on hold, we hope we can bring people together virtually and come up with ways to pursue progressive issues in this time of social distancing. The Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee is your elected team of volunteers running the meetings, organizing events, disseminating relevant news, and sharing calls to action. More volunteers are always welcome. And the elections for the coordinating committee will take place at our next meeting in April. Oh, why does this keep doing this? There we go. Solidarity Lowell is a chapter of Progressive Massachusetts. Progressive Mass is a statewide, member-driven grassroots organization committed to fight for a vision of shared prosperity, racial and social justice, good government, and environmental sustainability in Massachusetts. And they recently launched a brand new website, which is very exciting, which includes a new page called Beacon Hill 101, which is a timeline and overview of the legislative session and scorecards. They rate all of our elected officials in Massachusetts. So your state rep, your state senator, governor, all those folks. So if you want to see how they're doing and see their rating on their website, you can visit scorecard.progressivemass.com. It's a really good tool to have. And I'm not sure if they're going to be fixing that anytime soon, but just keep in mind that it is organized by years. So you might have to click around to get the full rating. We have the Progressive Mass agenda right now for 2021 and 2022. Right now, they're focusing a lot on the Fair Share Amendment, on universal childcare, debt-free higher education, and Medicare for all. So there'll be initiatives around that, and we'll be sending that out in the rapid response update, our email list. They have different committees: the Issues Committee, Elections and Endorsements, Chapters, Membership, Digital Engagement, Technology, and Development. And if you're interested in learning more about about Progressive Mass or joining one of their committees, please let any of the coordinating committee members know, and we'll be happy to give you that information. Okay, so now we'd like to celebrate victories of the past month. The City Council passed a resolution affirming the values of inclusion, respect, and justice for all its community members, notably including its Asian American community members. That was put forth by Councillor Vesna Noon. So we're very happy that that passed. Lowell City Council requested a report on hate crimes in the city on Asian Americans, and it was expanded to all types of hate crimes after compelling testimony. This was the motion that Councilor Rita Mercier put forth that we were very conflicted about, to say the least, knowing Rita's history. Yeah, we're glad that it was expanded to include all types of hate crimes. The UML labor education program was reinstated as of March 22nd. Governor Baker signed the climate bill into law. Big clap for that. Emergency paid sick leave bill passed and is awaiting the governor's signature. Fingers crossed. And our Lowell School Committee passed a motion to change Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. Does anyone else have any victories that they would like to share? Either raise your hand or put a star in the chat. Not seeing anything. Okay, if I missed anybody, just unmute yourselves and jump in. Okay, moving on. Oops. Oh gosh, no, this. Okay, good. Buttons are working again. They've stopped working for a minute. Okay. The election subcommittee, Lisa or Dee, would you like to do that?
I can go ahead.
Okay.
All right, so we are we are opening up interest in the election subcommittee. We would like people to help us out if you are interested. Wanted to include some information on endorsements. We are allowing candidates to come in and introduce themselves and let people know that they are running, and you'll hear from them soon, more soon. Once we get closer to the election, we will send out a questionnaire to all candidates. And for those who fill out that questionnaire, we will be sending ballots to all of our eligible Solidarity Lowell members to vote on whether or not they are they would be endorsed by our group. So once a candidate is endorsed, you can post on our Facebook group about the things that you're doing, events that you're having, but we ask that you post no more than once a week. And then we will also advertise in our rapid response thing about volunteer opportunities, and we will encourage members to volunteer for your events. It also allows us to do a little, if you're endorsed, we can help you with your campaign more than we can otherwise. So we may also host a debate similar to the way that we have previous years, but I didn't want to commit our group to doing that because it depends on what our endorsements look like. So that's where we are. And we hope that we have more people who want to get involved with the elections committee to help us to support our candidates, because this is a really important year. We really need to get the right people elected onto our school committee and our city council.
Yes.
Agreed. Oh. There we go. Okay. We're going to be doing a postcard writing group. We'll be doing a session on Zoom where we write postcards and chat. And then we will supply the topics and the sample text And if you need supplies, we're working on a system for getting you supplies. If you're interested in getting involved, please contact Caroline at solidaritylowell.com or message her in the chat. The Merrimack Valley Interfaith Sanctuary Network. I am the volunteer coordinator for that group. We had a successful event last weekend where Marius, the Togolese asylum seeker, updated us on what's been happening with him during the winter. It was very exciting. He had an unexpected visit to the ICE detention center in Arizona. He was traveling to visit a cousin in Arizona, and who he hadn't seen in a very, very long time over the Christmas, the holiday season. And when he went to get on the plane to get back, ICE detained him under bogus charges, which luckily we were able to get thrown out, but it took a month. So that really stunk for him, but he's amazing. I mean, he's absolutely amazing, and was working on ways to help other people that he met in the detention center, and is already working on, he wants to take a class to become a translator, to work with specifically immigration issues. So if you're interested in helping him, we also are still providing his monthly expenses. So if you're able to help, we would greatly appreciate it. You can donate at merrimackvalleyproject.org. The /donate-1. If you go to the Merrimack Valley Project website, there's a big button that says donate, and then just make sure you write asylum in the special notes part of the donation form. But if you have any questions, just email me, marissa@solidaritylowell.com. Okay, so now it comes the time where we do updates from other groups that you all are involved with. Any information that you'd like to share with us that we can help with, or others can help with, and then we'll do candidate announcements. So first off, we'll start with any other groups. Who would like to begin?
I could start from 350 Mass if it's all right.
Okay, yep, and then Paul, you'll be next.
As Marissa mentioned, the climate bill passed, and so want to thank everybody who helped out and advocated for that. You should feel good about it. It's a good step forward. It sets up benchmarks for the future. Now we have to make them real, and there will be legislation coming forward this session to start actually making the transition to clean, renewable energy, which we'll be talking about hopefully in future meetings. Also, I think we mentioned last time that the Lowell Conservation Commission denied a permit to National Grid to expand the gas pipeline that they're trying to expand here in Lowell. And they've appealed to the state. They'll probably win the appeal, and we're considering there's a further appeal possible that we're considering getting involved in. And we need people from Lowell a certain number of people from Lowell to sign the appeal. If you're interested in that, maybe you could send me a message in the chat, and we'll get back to you about what's going on with that. And if anybody knows any lawyers who have a lot of free time and are independently wealthy and want to volunteer and help us with that cause, let me know, will you?
Paul.
Yes, just to want to give a shout out to Lisa Arnold, who is now one of the board members of Merrimack Valley Project. She was appointed at our last meeting and will be serving in that capacity, representing our Lowell chapter. We have 3 chapters, a Haverhill chapter and a Lawrence Andover chapter. And Lisa is graciously agreed to serve on the board. We're so happy to have her on.
Fantastic. Chris, did you want to speak?
Yes, that's why I did the asterisks thing. Because GLELA is that is the Greater Lowell Interfaith Leadership Alliance, which several of us are also members, myself included, Paul included. So we're kind of allied organizations, I suppose. And GLELA will have their annual Interfaith Gathering for Peace on Sunday, April 11th starting at 3:45. The focus of this meeting will be immigration, migration, how that affects people and members. So there will be a panel of 4 speakers from different denominations talking to that. And the reason I mentioned that is because I'll be one of the panelists. And there will also be a cooking demonstration of a Cambodian dish, because Cambodian New Year, I understand, also starts shortly thereafter. So we figured that's a good kickoff. There will be the recipe supplied and somebody will actually do the cooking demonstrations. All members or anybody present here is of course invited. It's open to the public. If you need more information, you can contact me either in the chat here or email me, chris@solidaritylowell.com.
There will also, sorry, Marissa,
Nope.
it'll also be posted on the Solidarity Lowell website under the events page.
Any other group updates? Okay, we'll move on to our candidate announcements. Susie, did you want to make an announcement?
Hi. I've decided, so not a bad thing, but I've decided to step back from running.
Okay.
I think that it'll give me a good leeway as to learning some more of the, I mean, I've been volunteering on other campaigns, but I think by stepping back and allowing support with Tutvan, because he's running for the same district, and you know, him and I, we both worked very closely together prior to this, and I'd rather be by his side right now. But definitely I'll learn some more of the rope, and not that I'm gonna step back, meaning that I am not planning on running in the near future, but I would definitely going to run, but because I respect Tut like a brother, so I'd rather be by his side at this moment. So sorry to say that, guys, but yeah, but in the future I will be, maybe in the next couple of years or so. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for letting us know. I mean, we're very excited about both of you running, but we're not looking forward to trying to figure out who to endorse between the two of you, because we love you both so much. So this makes it a little easier for us.
That's what I figure. You know, again, the community, they respect both of us. And I think being someone who's newer in the political realm with our city, I'd rather be that person who's willing to step back.
Rock on. Okay, April, would you like to make your announcement?
Sure. So I'm running for, like I said before, select board in Chelmsford. And I commend Susie for stepping back. I am a newcomer in all sense of the words. And so I'm pretty much, along with my partner, Charlie, she's my social media manager. But we have been running this campaign pretty much just me and my best friend, Marianne and Charlie. So any help that anybody could offer, suggestions, I will take it. I think we're doing pretty well for being newcomers. And the debates have been going really well. I've really been enjoying getting into learning different things about Chelmsford and how to take different actions and steps. And, you know, YouTube University has been a lifesaver. So, but other than that, I'm really passionate about this. I've been enjoying myself and learning the different aspects of it as being a newcomer. And I feel that I do have a strong support system, but you know, Charlie always talks about this group. And so I thank Lisa for inviting me to share about my candidacy, and I will take any help I can get. We're in the last leg of, like I said, the campaign, and I have a couple of debates this week coming up, and then election is April 6th. So we're hitting the pavement pretty hard, and I'll take any suggestions, any help anyone wants to give will be greatly appreciated. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, last but not least, Corey.
Hi, my name's Corey Robinson. I'm a first-time candidate. I announced a little while ago. I'm looking forward to this run. What really spurred me, I've been involved in the community as I worked in Lowell for 15 years in the DPW. I was an advocate in the form of a labor leader, president of 1705 for several years. I've since moved to work in Tingsboro, as I myself was a result of, the nepotism and unfavorable work conditions, especially for minorities in the city. And then when I saw the charter change take place, I mean, it opened my eyes right up, and I realized it's now or never. And it kind of made a real run at candidacy for someone like myself possible, financially. And I strongly believe in getting to know the people that you're asking for the ability to advocate for. So, I mean, with a district race, I'm looking to put together a truly all-inclusive neighborhood grassroots campaign and throw the rope back over the fence if I'm successful.
Excellent. Thanks for coming, Corey.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I think we have time if we want to do just a brief Q&A with either of the candidates. If anyone has any questions, we can just do that for a couple minutes. Questions for April or Corey? Joe.
April, what made you want to run for select board in Chelmsford?
Sure, Joe. What made me run for select board is I have three little ones. My daughter is 7, my son is 6, and my middle boy is 4. And so just if I want to really have my roots here in Chelmsford, and I am really running for them for their future. And so what I've been saying this whole campaign is, we need to put in the work today for a better future for them. And that's my main goal. And, a lot of things happen throughout Chelmsford regarding, the proclamation. I don't know if Lowell has heard about that, but regarding the proclamation for being signed about anti-racism. And, I was really frustrated with the outcome of the select board not originally wanting to sign that proclamation. And it really frustrated me. So that is also a back motivation of why I wanted to run as well. And, I want a seat at the table, and, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm in it. And like I said, it's been, I never thought I'm just a regular person could run. And when I really started investigating and researching for myself, and then I don't know, some people know Charlie. Charlie is very motivating, and make you feel like a rock star. And I'm like, you know what, I can do this. And so I've been doing it. And like I said, I could use a lot of help doing it, but I'm still doing it. And that's what really made me want to run. I hope I answered your question, Joe.
Yes. That's a fine answer.
John?
Yeah, this question could be for both candidates. But what do you think the city of Lowell or town of Chelmsford should be doing to address the climate crisis?
Would you like me to go first, April?
I can go ahead. Regarding Chelmsford, during quarantine, I've been really tuning into a lot of the different town meetings and different town events via Zoom, because now I have the time to and actually can sit down and actually attend some of these meetings, because my schedule isn't as hectic. And I've attended a lot. Chelmsford does have it's called climatechange.org, I believe, or Chelmsford Climate Change organization. And I've been really tuning into a lot of their series. They had a lot of special guests from like New Bedford talking about the turbines, and they have sustainably plan, and they've been putting something, for the Warren article for town meeting. So I've been really, I don't know much about the climate changes and different things of that nature, but I'm definitely willing to learn, and what they have presented have been outstanding. And so I've never been one to, I do my part as recycling and all that, but I want to know more. So they've been very helpful during out this pandemic to really explain different processes and where they're coming from. So I feel that we should, as Chelmsford, not addressing Lowell, but as Chelmsford, we really should pay attention to those things and what they're talking about. And I feel that having this article on the on the warrant for town meeting is definitely a step in the right direction. So I'm all for climate change efforts. Hope I answered your question, John.
No, thank you.
Shall I go?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically my take on and what Lowell should be doing and what they could do different regarding climate change is the same kind of thing that they could do across the board with a lot of problems that we're facing. Listen, that's the number one thing. They need to listen to the experts, to the people that have a finger on the pulse of these problems. Think outside the box, be creative, look at what has and hasn't worked in other communities, and provide support. I mean, listening and providing support for suggestions and ideas that have been shown to work and not work to combat some of these problems. I mean, that's the place, in my opinion, of our local government. It's not to know every answer or pretend to know every answer or to try to dictate what they think is the best solution or answer towards some of these problems. But again, listen and provide support.
Okay, any other questions for the candidates before we move on? Okay, we have a new person who joined us under a phone number. Can I just ask your name? I think you're on a phone, so it might be tricky. 978-866-2427. Okay, well,
I think I know who that is.
oh, okay. You could just put it in the chat. We just like to keep a record of everyone who attends.
Sure.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Yes.
That's
I'm trying
Livonia.
to mute myself and
Yeah.
it's not going through.
That's
This
okay.
this is Livonia Furusa.
Oh, hi, Lavinia.
I've been gone forever, but you know, I'm with you guys and you know.
Well,
things
thank
have
you
been-
so much for
yeah.
coming. It's good to virtually sort of see you.
Welcome back.
To virtually
Welcome
hear you. Okay. great.
No, I've been with you guys. I know, but I said to myself, you know what? I'd rather call than just disappear like this. It's not nice. Corona is about to go, you know. We'll need each other soon. more than-
Yes. Thank you for being here. All
No,
right.
thank you guys for continuing doing the meetings. This is great.
We're trying. We're trying. Okay, so. All right, we're going to get into our discussion about the coordinating committee. So if you care about a diverse city council and school committee, environmental justice, homelessness, stopping homelessness, housing and evictions, increasing affordable housing in particular, and stopping evictions, immigration issues, language issues, police reform, public health, racial justice, please consider joining Solidarity Lowell, coming to our meetings. You all are here, obviously, but also we are running our coordinating committee election next meeting. So if you are interested in being more active in the group, we would love to have you as part of the coordinating committee. As you know, all of our meetings are held the fourth Sunday of each month, and our coordinating committee election will be held in April. The coordinating committee, the benefits, we help shape the direction of Solidarity Lowell. We are the ones who plan and lead the events and meetings. We help with the decision-making for our endorsements, coordination with other groups. And we also participate in all of the Progressive Mass chapter leaders discussions and their large member events, chapter leader events. What's involved with being part of the coordinating committee? Well, it is a 2-year term. There are 2 additional meetings a month in addition to the general meeting. You are required to do, within a few months of joining the coordinating committee, the Unpacking Whiteness dialogue group or a similar Unpacking Whiteness sort of group. And you need to check our Solidarity Lowell coordinating committee Slack group, Facebook Messenger conversation, and check your email once a day. Though we are working on trying to find better systems for folks, because I know that there's a lot of issues with Facebook. We're trying to find better systems unfortunately, right now, it seems like Facebook Messenger has been the best. When there's something that has to happen really quickly, that's what we tend to use because it just blasts out to everybody's phones and there's nothing, you get the notifications right away, which is why we've been using that. But we are trying to use Slack more and obviously email is a constant. So we'll just go around now and just talk briefly about ourselves, I guess. So I guess this looks like alphabetical. So Lisa, why don't you start?
Yay, alphabetical. Okay. Sometimes it's not good to have a last name that starts with A. So I have been part of the coordinating committee and part of Solidarity Lowell pretty much from the start, with the exception of a brief hiatus that I took last summer for reasons that may be obvious. And as part of the coordinating committee, each of us is also asked to be a part of, be a liaison to one of our partner groups. And the group that I have liaised with is the Merrimack Valley Project. I've really enjoyed my time with them, so much so that, as you heard, I am now on their board. So that's been very nice. And I hope to be able to make a difference over there as well. In addition, I do the rapid response city council agenda meetings and send those out and encourage people to head out and speak up on issues that we care about. So I know there were some people who spoke on the Rita Mercier motion. So those of you who did show up, thank you. Appreciate that very much. And what else do I do? We always help out with the editing of the rapid response. You'll hear from the person who does that, and she does a great job, but it's always good to have people step in and help doing the editing and looking out for errors. So I'll go with that and pass it on to Amy.
Oops. Okay. All right. Hi, I scribbled notes. Let's see if I could do this without looking at it. I've been on the coordinating committee since almost the beginning, the first year. It's been great, and it really helped me survive some of the Trump years. And these guys are all my friends, and I look forward to meeting with them formally and informally. I did a lot of tabling events when we had them. I look forward to doing that again, the Folk Fest and Pride and stuff. Tabling and telling people about Solidarity Lowell was a lot of fun. I am on the rapid response team. I used to do the rapid response results report, which was basically the positive news, but it just got to be a bit much. And so we turned it into the Facebook group Upbeat, Solidarity Lowell Upbeat, which I sent out the link to a little while ago. So that's more autonomous now. Let's see what else. Yeah, I'm forgetting. Hold on. Let me see what I got here. Yeah, I've been involved in a lot of campaigns. I do databases for my day job, so I enjoy tinkering with election files and tabulating lists and making databases for, you know what, I can't count them all, but most recent was Lisa, but there's been maybe a dozen through the years that I've gotten involved in postcarding and building databases and just getting the word out to people and addresses and things out to people to get them to vote. Oh, and I'm still doing the rapid response. Dee can tell you more about it. She's the one that actually does it, but I compile out the email and send it. And then I try my best to do a nice Photoshop graphic, which never comes out as nice as Marissa's, but hopefully they're acceptable enough that they capture people's attention. And that is everything.
All right, Joe, do you want to go next?
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Joseph Boyle. I have been on the coordinating committee only since, I think, 2018. I am going to run again for a seat on the coordinating committee. I was Lisa mentioned liaisoning with groups. The group that I was in charge of liaisoning with was the CNRP, And I think that I have successfully put Solidarity Lowell on their radar and built some connections with people there, especially a couple of people who are here tonight with us, Susie and Tooch. Well, my main initiative with the group it was just about getting going when COVID hit, which was the Affordable Housing Committee. With things opening back up again, I plan on getting that committee going again over the course of the next year. I hope to be able to do so from a position on the coordinating committee. Marissa?
Okay. I am Marissa DuPont. I am, yeah, I do a lot of stuff. Or I did more before Lisa's campaign, honestly, and then I've kind of scaled back a little bit, which is a healthy thing to do. But I do a lot of graphics as needed. So not like the weekly ones that Amy works on, but if anything else comes up, I'm happy to do those. And I've worked with a bunch of different groups, but I've done some things with 350 Mass, but John and Steve are the big folks with that group. But I do the Progressive Mass leaders calls, which are I think it's the third Thursday of every month, where we just commiserate. It's used to be a call, but now it's a Zoom where we talk about what's going on with Progressive Mass and what we all are working on and what we can do to help the larger group as a whole. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, I mean, the elections committee, I definitely help a lot with that. Dee and I are working on a scorecard right now. Not sure if we've announced that officially yet, but we're working on a scorecard for our city councilors because Progressive Mass has one for the state representatives, for your state reps and your state senators and governor and all that, but we don't have anything on a local level. So we're going to roll out the city council one, hopefully in a couple months. It takes a long time to go through all of the old city council meetings, and basically we've created a rating system based on all of the topics that we feel like the group cares about. And then we'll be rolling that out so that people can really see in writing, just because I feel like, and this is why I came up with the idea, is that I feel like a lot of people, only see certain city councilors that I won't name, but who show up at different events and kiss the butts of the constituents, but then they show up to the meetings and vote in a totally different way. Fraud. So we're really worried about that kind of situation, and we want to make sure that they can go to the scorecard and they can see, no, look, this is how they voted in this meeting, and this is how they voted in this meeting, and this is how they voted in this meeting, and they're lying to you, so we want to be able to put our money where our mouth is. So yeah, so that's our big project. It's moving slowly because there's only 2 of us working on it right now, but we'll get there. And once we roll it out, we'll let all of you know. All right, Dee, you're next.
Hi. I have been a member of Solidarity Lowell since, I don't know, since 2017. I don't remember exactly when I went on to the coordinating committee. And I've been helping with, well, I started doing the rapid response report when Marissa temporarily left us to work on a political campaign. And I've enjoyed doing it. It's a lot of work, but so I look for events that people might want to know about, and actions that people are called to take, particularly those that Progressive Mass encourages us to do. So the report is divided into things that happen at the local level, things that happen at the state level, and occasionally things that happen on the national level, although we tend to focus on the city level and the state level. And one of my particular interests is the current efforts to improve on and support and defend democracy. So I include things like sessions offered by the Brennan Institute on what the heck is going on with all these voter suppression bills that are happening around the country and what people can do to fight that. I don't know what else to say, so I guess the next person should go on. That would be, I can't see the slide.
Chris.
Chris, okay.
That would be me, yes, Chris Appelman. And I just had to think about it. I've actually been with Solidarity Lowell from the very, very, very beginning. That first rally in front of, or in JFK Plaza in November of 2016, and the subsequent meeting at Mill 5. I didn't become very active because I was still living in Chelmsford and I was in the process of moving to Lowell, and that took up a lot of my time and energy. But once I got here, which was about a year later in late 2017, I was then asked to join the coordinating committee and did so. My special areas of what I'm really interested in is anything immigration related. And especially over the last 4 years, there were a lot of things immigration related that took our attention, took our time, and took our efforts. Some progress was made, thankfully, and is continued to be made. There's some organizations in Boston that I'm always the one that forgets names of things when I'm talking. So there's some organizations in Boston that are doing a great job with this. Locally, I have been involved with the RISE Coalition. That was Refugee and Immigrant Support and Empowerment. Ever since COVID, they haven't been meeting anymore. So I hope they start up again once restrictions loosen up, because that certainly was helpful and informative. My other two leaders, well, and of course, elections are always of interest to me. And in the coming year, especially city council elections, I hope to get as involved as I can in city council elections and campaigns as we go forward. And my other two liaisons, one of them I mentioned before is GLELA, the Greater Lowell Interfaith Leadership Alliance, which I greatly enjoy. They're a group of very progressive clergy and lay leaders from a great variety of congregations in and around Lowell. And the other one is LAMA, and don't ask me what that stands for, but it's a mutual support group that sprung up very quickly about a year ago at the beginning of the pandemic. In the beginning, focused on providing food for people who couldn't leave their homes. Now they are swiveling more towards housing, especially affordable housing development. I attend those, or the lack of affordable housing development in Lowell, I should probably say, because the plans that at this point are public about development and housing in Lowell, to our way of thinking, aren't anywhere near to providing enough affordable housing. So that's definitely a point of contention. So those are really the things I enjoy doing there. And I'm not up for re-election because I joined 3 years ago, so I'm in my second term, so I'll talk again next year.
Chris, is Lama still active? How active are they?
Oh yeah, Lama is quite active. They're just not doing a lot of the food drives anymore, because over the summer they did that mostly with volunteers, which were students that could drive food donations around to the different residents in need. But there are bi-weekly meetings at this point. that Llama does on Zoom. If you're in, that was Ben that asked that, right? I wasn't even.
Yes.
Yes, it was me.
Yes. Okay, Ben, can you, because I'm bound to forget, can you email, if you're interested to attend one of the meetings, can you email me, chris@solidaritylowell.com, and I'll send you the contact and link and everything?
Oh, sure. Because why I'm asking is that there was an organization that at the height of the pandemic that was looking for organizations like Llama, and Llama came up several times for funding, but we couldn't establish good contact with them. But I will shoot you an email.
Llama is definitely very active, and I'm sure they'll continue to be very active. So by all means, shoot me an email. It's bi-weekly meetings on Thursday afternoons. We just had one, so this coming week there won't be one, but the week after there won't be one. They've also been involved in the marches for justice for Moses Harris, the weekly ones. Several Llama members are instrumental in helping out, and amongst other things, providing food and water and refreshment table at those marches. I was just there yesterday. So there's a number of initiatives going on. Like I said, drop me an email and I'll give you the particulars. I'll send you the link for the next meeting if you're interested, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, Chris at solidaritylowell.com or org?
Com.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, you are next.
Well, hi. So my name is Steve Maligoty. I've been on the coordinating committee for a year. And when Chris recruited me to do this, I was, a little hesitant, I think because of the usual reasons that many of us have, in that we are involved in community projects that take up our time and attention. I work with John Grossman at 350.org, 350mass.org. And so the climate crisis is very big and very complicated. And so I was a little worried that volunteering for another effort would both distract me from my main center of activity, and that I wouldn't be able to sort of devote the kind of attention that Solidarity Lowell deserves, for the same reasons that we tend to be, we have a habit of overextending ourselves, I think. So I was cautious about that, but I'll have to say that that did not turn out to be the case. There's not a lot of, being on the coordinating committee for Solidarity Lowell is not that time consuming. There are a few meetings a month to go to, and a couple of things like meeting reminders that maybe take 10 minutes or so a month to send out to people. So it hasn't been all that time consuming. And on the other hand, I think that it has been beneficial for my other work with 350 I hope helping to keep the climate crisis and what's going on locally in front of other folks, the folks who come to the Solidarity Lowell meetings. And I think it's really important for those of us who are involved in different communities and different areas of interest to somehow stay in touch with each other and to have regular conversations with each other. So I found Solidarity Lowell to be very good for that. So it's been a mutual benefit. So I would urge anybody who who would consider being on the coordinating committee to go ahead and do so, and don't let your fears of being overextended stop you. So that's what I have to say.
Thanks, Steve. Caroline, you are next.
All right. So I have been on the coordinating committee for a year, and I will actually say that it has been one of the joys of the pandemic. I always have heard great things about Solidarity Lowell from Dee, and then Chris. And when I finally moved to Lowell and settled in, I wanted to connect, and I was like, okay, this is great. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, ooh, I don't have to drive to a meeting. All right. So I signed up. And like I said, it's been one of the greatest pieces of the pandemic. I really feel like I've gotten to connect with a wider group of people than I have ever, which is great. That's part of why I love living in Lowell. City Council is super fascinating to me. And I feel like this group has really helped me to understand various pieces about City Council that even growing up in Chelmsford with a full civics class, never understood. And so I feel like this has really been that bridge that I was looking for. And right now I liaison with Leela. I'm actually the treasurer for that. And then I do other sort of one event things. So I do every so often I'll be able to do the marches, most recently for Moses Harris, in various demonstrations. I do work during the day, so outside of my house. So it's been nice for Solidarity Lowell because it's like, hey, can you join this meeting for this week? And hey, can you do this? And I'm able to step in, which is really nice. It's a very cooperative model. And so, yeah, so again, one of the bright spots of the pandemic has been Solidarity Lowell.
Thanks, Caroline. So just a couple things that I just realized we should probably point out. So our group is very much a committee. There's no one person who leads. There's no president, vice president, blah, blah, blah. We have, you know, we with our bylaws, it's anywhere from 8 to 13 members, I think we're allowed to have up to. So there's a lot of space in the group right now. And whenever there's an issue, we try to make sure that we have at least, you know, if there's something quick that happens, like I said, we use a lot of online tools to communicate, and we need to make sure that we have a quorum in order to vote on things. We have a lot of rules that you don't see that are behind the scenes. We're happy to share that with anybody who's interested. There was one other thing I was going to say. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things that are going on. You know, I mean, one of the things that we'd like to start doing again, which is a big opportunity, is the Demonstrate, Dine, and Discuss events. In the before times, we would pick a local restaurant. We'd like to pick something that was locally owned and preferably owned by a person of color and not a chain. And we would stand out on the Ladd and Witt Memorial. It's the island in front of City Hall, and demonstrate about something to, you know, raise awareness about things and also raise awareness about Solidarity Lowell. And then we go to that restaurant and discuss, you know, topics of the month, whatever had happened politically, either locally or nationally. And that was a really great event that we enjoyed doing. And unfortunately, didn't have the capacity to continue, and especially with the pandemic, it just wasn't a possibility. So there's other events like that. You know, we do, like Amy mentioned, we do a lot of tabling at the Folk Fest and Pride and Acre Fest, and I'm trying to think of some of the others. There's a bunch of different events like that pop up during the year. Oh, the event that Glila does, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, and you know, our meetings are fun, and we hope everyone is now interested and wants to join us. Okay, oops. Yeah, okay, so you sold me, now what? So you can nominate yourself or someone else today. Either contact any member of the coordinating committee, or you can email us at contact@solidaritylowell.com. Or if you are more comfortable with Facebook, you can contact us through our Facebook page or group. There's a messenger option there. And then just be prepared to speak for about 2 minutes at our next meeting. We'll be doing speeches then. You'll hear from some of us who are up for reelection again then, and then we'll be sending out a virtual ballot over email to anybody who is eligible to vote. In order to be eligible to a vote, you need to have attended at least 3 meetings in the past 6 months.
12 months.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
12 months.
Oh, 12 months. Sorry, I got that wrong. Is there anything else that I missed that anyone wants to talk about the coordinating committee before we start wrapping up?
April was putting a question in the chat. Did
Oh.
you mean how to become a formal member of Solidarity Lowell in general or of the coordinating committee?
Oh, no, to be a formal member of Solidarity Lowell, you need to have attended at least 3 meetings in the past year. And in the past 12 months. And then to become a member of the coordinating committee, like I said, there's the election. So you just have to be prepared to speak for a couple minutes next month and at our meeting next month. And then we'll do the voting with our membership. Does anyone else have any questions?
Also to April, I don't know that we have your contact information. And since I forgot to mention before, I'm the keeper of the lists. So I'm always making sure that I have everybody's contact. So if you could shoot me a mail, chris@solidaritylowell.com, so I have your contact, then we're all set.
I have a question. Is the coordinating committee content with having 8 members? You said there was up to 13 possibilities. And
I mean,
why does that vary? Or
I mean, we just didn't have enough interest. We lost a couple of members this year. It was 11
to be
or
back to
10.
full strength? Are you aiming for the 13?
I mean, we'd like to have, the more the merrier, honestly. What we find is that it really helps when we're trying to make a decision, to have more input from more voices. So we just don't want it getting so big that it becomes cumbersome, which is why we capped it at 13. Corey's asking, will the group be doing any voter education in the community in regards to the change in the city's charter? We have communicated with this group. I mean, I'll be honest, I know there's a few new folks in here. Most of us have been around for a while and are familiar with what's going on, but if anyone's not familiar with it, we're happy to discuss that. But obviously, the election system is changing. We're going from an all at large to a hybrid district and 3 at-large seats. So we're going from 9 members of the city council up to 11. So there'll be 8 district seats and then 3 at-large, and they just finalized the districts. So the election subcommittee in particular will be working on the endorsements survey, which we'll be sending out, and we'll be looking for candidates in each of the districts as well as at large to endorse. We don't necessarily endorse in each of the districts or all at large seats. But if people meet our requirements, then we will announce that we've endorsed and help those folks with their campaigns as best we can. Any other questions? Move this over so I can see all of you. Lisa.
Not a question, but I wanted to just confirm or clarify on Corey's question. Lowell Votes does a great job with voter education. And so as a partner organization, we will definitely work with them and see how we can help them with voter education. But I think that because our model is to really be a collaborative group, that we would let them really be the lead and kind of help out with them where we can.
Yeah, and the other tricky part is because we endorse, I think it makes it a little dicey. Lowell Votes is, bipartisan, and so they don't endorse. Rick, did you have a question? No, sorry, I thought I saw your hand up. Anything else?
I just want to throw a pitch in. CBA often does the candidating events.
Yes.
Where you get to meet the candidates and have a chance to ask questions. So again, they don't endorse, but that's another voter education opportunity.
Candidating events are excellent. I've had the privilege of being able to moderate, you just like sit at a table and just make sure that nobody talks too much. The candidates don't just like do their stump speeches the whole time, and they actually answer questions. And it's so enlightening. And like there's things that I have that note, I take notes the entire time, and that notebook is gold when it comes to figuring out who we're going to endorse. If there's something that they've been vague on in one of our endorsement surveys, I've gone back to that and I've said, they said this, it's a free event. It's held at the senior center, and they provide food. It's usually pizza. It's really good. And yeah, highly recommend attending those events. They do one for school committee and one for city council. Between 45 and 55, that's several broken. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, I do have a question.
Sure.
This is Livonia. I used to be an active member before COVID, and I used to come to the meetings. Was I stripped of my membership because I was not attending? I just want to know what I need to do again, because we have been so busy with COVID. I run a food pantry, and we have been working 24/7, delivering food, taking care of people who are in need out there in the community. We were one of the most active pantry during the COVID, and we're still active. We still deliver food, and we're still looking for volunteers. We need help. We have increased so much. So I still want to know if I'm still.
Chris would be the one she's the keeper of the magical spreadsheet that would tell us.
The keeper of the magical list, and I would have to look at it, which I can't do right now. You're definitely a member of the group. The 3 meetings in a year refers to if you are a voting member. So we're saying anybody who wants to be a voting member should have been here at least 3 times in the past 12 months. But we're not voting today, and we probably won't be voting on the city council on the endorsements for a while. So if we haven't had your 3 attendances in the last 12 months, counting today, if between now and then you are here 2 more times, you're a voting member again. I mean, your general membership never lapses in that sense. We just like to restrict voting to people who have been attending meetings, so we know them and they know us. But we still love you, and you're still a member.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Sure. I just wanted to know because I've been so busy, and
I
you
know.
guys can also come and help me because I consider myself a solidarity member, and yes. I wish you guys, you could just reach out to me to find out what happened as one of your members.
Oh, but we know you have.
We know you're busy.
Yeah. we just assumed you were very busy. I don't think any of us felt like, oh well, she doesn't care about us anymore. No, we have other priorities. It's all good.
All right.
Any other questions or comments from anyone?
I wanted to comment, if anybody's considering joining the board, there are a lot of things that happen faster than the pace of these general meetings. Stuff on the city council that we want to get a letter to people in time for the meeting or things like that, and the coordinating committee acts on its own. We like to have people join who could be that level of engaged on a day-to-day basis to allow for this quick turnaround. So if anybody feels like they have the interest and ability to step up like that, we'd really appreciate it. And also, of course, we are looking to expand and develop the diversity of this board.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for saying that, Joe. That's really important to us.
It is. So please, if we can get some more friends, the more the merrier.
And I think it goes without saying that the Unpacking Whiteness group is for white members. So obviously, if you're a person of color, you don't have to do that. That would be silly. So I think that was the other thing that I forgot to say before. So just wanted to throw that out there. We just want to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of racial justice, and that Unpacking Whiteness Dialogue group gets us there.
An example of one of the quick actions we took is that we were rather appalled at the last city council meeting and how a certain councilor took it upon themselves to comment on just about everybody's statement. And we issued our own statement about that. And we did it pretty much overnight. So that kind of thing will happen among the coordinating committee.
Yeah, that was literally overnight. We started discussing it after the city council meeting, and I think throughout the night and by the next morning, we pretty much had a statement. So overnight was not an exaggeration at this time.
We've also put together letters to the editor at times because of things that have happened. So those are the kinds of things you can have input to if you're on the coordinating committee.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. It's April. I just wanted to say, I didn't catch the lady's name that has the phone number as the group chat, but I wanted information on how to assist with the food pantry that she was stating about.
Lavinia,
Lavinia,
do you want to put your info in the chat? Can you, or we could share your email address if you are not in front of a computer.
Okay, let me just put it on the chat, my email address for the pantry. Is that what you need?
Yes.
Okay, then. Thank you so much.
No
Let me do
problem.
that.
If elected or not elected, I have started an initiative here in Chelmsford called the Chelmsford Community Fridge. So I definitely want to be in contact with you. I've talked with a food advisory board that's in Chelmsford regarding setting up a community fridge here. So the ball is rolling with that along with the election. Right now, my main focus obviously is the election, and then right after that, it's right into community fridge business. So the start of that, I've started an Instagram account, and we have like Google Forms for volunteers on that currently. But any connection, I want to kind of Chelmsford is the start, obviously, because I live here. But my plan is to, try to initiate these throughout the Merrimack Valley. There's already a handful in Massachusetts already, and we would be the 13th one starting. So yeah, I definitely want to contact with you.
Okay, let me just send you an email address. You can send me your email address at the same time too. Thank you.
Great, no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. Oh, here's my cat. Nikita's here.
Hey.
Okay. Oh, there we go. The controls keep hiding and then reappearing, but not consistently. So sorry if I'm a little slow today. Okay, so moving on, our next meeting will be on April 25th. We'll be doing our coordinating committee election, like I said, which will involve just everyone who is running. We'll just give a couple of minutes of a speech, and then we'll have time for Q&A after that. And we may or may not have another speaker, but we're not 100% on that yet. You can always join discussion in the events channel on Slack, on the Solidarity Lowell Slack group. And now is the fun time where we ask who will help with reminder calls and texts next month. This is a very easy process. Chris provides the script, and then you just have to text or call people. And the more people we have, the fewer people we have to call.
And actually, since you said join the discussion in events on Slack, not everybody in this that's here today is probably in our Slack group. So you can let me know or Steve know. I think we were the two that were doing the Slack thing, and we will invite you in there, and then you can join whatever group you like. And the reminder calls text scale, was that your hand for that, or? Okay, so I will add you to the group of sending it. We had it down to, I think everybody had like 8 texts that they had to send out last time. So that was real easy. You just copy and paste the text that I came up with and send it out 8 times to numbers that I provide in a spreadsheet where you'll get the link. And like was said before, it takes about 10 minutes. So I will add Kale to the list. Thank you.
Anyone else to help with reminders?
I think we're good.
Okay.
We got almost more reminders, more people to send out reminders and people to be sent to, because the ones that send out, of course, we can take off the list. So
Well, it's a good problem to have.
it's a good problem to have. Yes, yes, absolutely. I'm not complaining, and I'm happy for everybody that's helping out with it. Because also I think some people are going to be going off that list because they are going to be moving out of the country, at which point it doesn't make much sense for them to be sending texts for a Lowell meeting. So yeah, volunteering is very timely and welcome.
We appreciate it.
Did it help? Should
So,
I was just going to ask, should I create a Slack first before I try and get set up with that?
I don't think you have to create like an account with, if you've never used Slack, I don't think you have to create an account first. We'll send you the invite and then you create it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Kale, when I did it for our coordinating group, Chris sent me the invitation and then I clicked it and it created the account. And it seemed to be easier that way because it was automatically connected to where I wanted to end up.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
Kale,
great.
I'll
Sounds good.
send you an invite to the Slack channel, and
Great.
like Caroline just said, just click on the link and you'll be there.
Thank you.
So if you're not familiar, you can join us on our Facebook page or our Facebook group. The difference is the page is the outward facing group. You'll see public events and photos and etc., but you're not going to see discussion. The discussion happens in the group, which is private, just to members. It is very large though, so just be aware. But you can participate in discussion. That's where we post the rapid response update first. You'll see it there, and calls to action, et cetera, et cetera. Here is the group for Slack. It's solidaritylowell.slack.com if you want to join as a member. And then you can visit our website, solidaritylowell.com. We are on Instagram and Twitter at solidaritylowell. And we thank you so much for attending, for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you at our next meeting on April 25th. I will stop the sharing.